In 2026, electricity isn't just charging cars anymore. It's quietly bankrupting the entire idea of the gasoline supercar. Lotus spent decades being the featherweight underdog of the sports car world, and then in 2019 decided to build the most powerful production car in its history and make it fully electric. The Evija is Lotus stepping into a boxing ring it was never expected to enter, and swinging first. On the exterior, aerodynamic tunnels running through the rear bodywork, razor-thin LED lighting, and a stance so low it practically apologizes to speed bumps make it look designed in a wind tunnel that only later remembered it needed doors. Inside, a minimalist cockpit and exposed carbon fiber remind you Lotus never forgot its just add lightness philosophy, even while hiding a battery the size of a small swimming pool. Under the, well, there's no hood full of pistons here, 4 electric motors combine for around 2,000 PS and 1,700 Newton-meters of torque, launching the Evija 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds and onto a top speed above 320 kilometers per hour. As for the price, it starts around 2.3 million euros, and only 130 will ever be built. So if you were hoping to casually roll up to one at a dealership, Lotus would like you to know, get in line, or better yet, get in a much richer line. This car's story doesn't start with an engineer, it starts with an Italian design house. Pininfarina spent nearly a century drawing some of the most beautiful cars ever built for other brands, and in 2019 finally said, fine, we'll build our own. The Battista, named after founder Battista Pininfarina, looks exactly like what happens when the people who designed Ferraris for decades decide to stop holding back. On the exterior, sculpted air channels, a teardrop cabin, and butterfly doors give it the silhouette of a concept car that accidentally got approved for production. Inside, hand-stitched leather and a driver-wrapped cockpit show a level of Italian craftsmanship that makes German engineers quietly take notes. Under the body, 4 electric motors produce around 1,900 horsepower and 2,300 Newton-meters of torque, sending the Battista 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in a claimed 1.86 seconds, numbers that, if accurate, would make most Formula One cars feel embarrassed. Top speed sits around 350 kilometers per hour. As for the price, it starts at roughly 2.2 million euros, and Pininfarina builds only 150, which means owning one isn't really about driving fast. It's about driving fast while your neighbors quietly Google what a Pininfarina even is. This is the newest, boldest name on the list, and its story is still being written. Deus Automobiles, an Austrian-Croatian startup, unveiled the Vayanne as a concept in 2022, built with engineering house Manifattura Automobili Torino and Rimac's technology division, which, if you know Hypercars, is basically a cheat code. On the exterior, sharp creases, a glass canopy cockpit, and a dramatically low nose look like something that escaped a video game before the developers finished rendering the wheels. Inside, a minimalist driver-first cabin wrapped in sustainable materials shows the brand's attempt to be extreme and conscious at once. Under the skin, the claimed specs, and we say claimed since this car hasn't reached full production, sit around 2,200 horsepower, with a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time under 2 seconds. As for the price, Deus has floated a figure near 1.7 million euros. Whether it reaches your driveway or stays an expensive rumor is up for debate, but if it arrives, several other names here might need to update their resumes. This is the entry that makes rich people slightly uncomfortable, because it proves you don't need to be rich to embarrass them. Yangwang is BYD's ultra-luxury sub-brand, launched in 2023 to prove Chinese manufacturing could compete at the absolute top of the performance world. And the U9 is the proof. On the exterior, a low, wide, aggressive stance and scissor doors look every bit as dramatic as anything wearing an Italian badge. Inside, a driver-focused cockpit with a full digital suite shows BYD didn't just copy the hypercar formula, it studied it. Under the floor, 4 motors combine for around 1,300 horsepower in the standard version, hitting 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 2.36 seconds, with an extreme variant reportedly pushing top speed past 480 kilometers per hour in testing. As for the price, depending on configuration, it starts at roughly 160,000 to 230,000 euros. the hypercar equivalent of finding a designer jacket at a thrift store. Few hypercars carry a backstory this strange. Aspark isn't a car company at all. It's a Japanese engineering and staffing firm that decided, almost as a side project, to build the fastest accelerating road car on the planet. The Owl arrived in 2020 and immediately made established hypercar brands nervous. On the exterior, an impossibly low roofline, under 1 meter tall, scissor doors, and a razor-sharp nose give it a profile that looks less like a car and more like a low-flying jet that got lost. Inside, a snug, race-inspired cockpit reminds you comfort was not the goal here. Under the body, 4 motors deliver around 1,985 horsepower, and in 2022, the Owl set a Guinness World Record with a 0 to 100 km/h time of just 1.72 seconds. A number so aggressive, it briefly makes physics feel optional. Top speed sits around 400 km/h. As for the price, it starts around 3.2 million euros, which means an obscure staffing company's side project now technically outruns cars from brands that have existed for 100 years. This is the one that makes traditional hypercar makers deeply, deeply nervous, because it's not even a hypercar, it's a sedan. Xiaomi, yes, the phone company, entered the car business in 2021 and by 2025 was posting Nürburgring lap times that made established performance brands double-check their own numbers. On the exterior, a long hood, an aggressive front splitter, and a massive rear wing look like Xiaomi studied Porsche's homework a little too closely and then improved on it. Inside, a tech-heavy cockpit packed with screens shows exactly where this company's real expertise lives. Under the body, a tri-motor setup produces around 1,548 horsepower, launching the SU7 Ultra from 0 to 100 km/h in about 1.98 seconds, with a top speed near 350 km/h. As for the price, it starts at roughly 70,000 to 90,000 euros depending on market, meaning a company younger than the iPhone now builds something that can humiliate a Ferrari for the price of a nice apartment down payment. This is the car that's been almost here for nearly a decade, and its story is as much about hype as horsepower. Tesla first teased the new Roadster in 2017, promising numbers so extreme that even Elon Musk added a disclaimer about not overpromising, and then kept promising more anyway. On the exterior, the claimed design keeps a sleek, low two-seater silhouette with a Targa-style removable roof, a callback to the original Roadster that put Tesla on the map. Inside, a minimalist cabin with room for 4 is said to blend everyday usability with track ambition. Under the floor, Tesla's claimed figures, and we stress claimed since this car still isn't in customer hands. Describe a sub 1.9 second 0 to 100 km/h time and a top speed above 400 km/h, aided by an optional cold air thruster package that sounds less like a car option and more like a rocket division moonlighting in the parking lot. As for the price, the base version is expected to start around 190,000 euros, with a Founders Series near 230,000 euros. Whether it delivers on any of this the way Tesla says it will is, at this point, its own long-running subplot. This is where the countdown stops joking around because the Nevera R isn't hype, it already happened, on camera, with a stopwatch running. Rimac started as a Croatian garage project in 2009 when founder Mate Rimac converted his own BMW into an EV after the engine blew up. And somehow that garage project is now the company that quietly builds parts for Porsche, Bugatti, and Aston Martin. The R version, unveiled in 2024, is Rimac's answer to what if we stopped being polite about it? On the exterior, a sharpened front splitter, a larger rear wing, and a lowered stance push the design from already extreme to actively hostile toward air resistance. Inside, motorsport-grade seats and a stripped-back cabin replace anything resembling comfort with anything resembling speed. Under the floor, 4 motors produce a confirmed 2,107 horsepower and roughly 2,360 Newton-meters of torque. And in 2024, the Nevera R set the production EV 0 to 100 km/h record at 1.74 seconds, with a top speed of 431.6 km/h, the fastest verified speed ever recorded by a production electric car. As for the price, it starts around 2.4 million euros, with only a handful built. Which means the fastest car on this list isn't a concept, isn't a claim, and isn't a promise. It's a Croatian garage project from 15 years ago that quietly became faster than almost everything humanity has ever built with wheels.